Yo, welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is June the 3rd, 2025, and we have 3 WNBA games on the board for today. Commissioner Cup games as well. So we're going to jump right into it. We didn't have any WNBA yesterday, of course, so I don't have a recap because I didn't bet anything that we talked about on Sunday. Sunday was a great show, man. I was kicking myself for not making any of those bets, but all my season numbers are the same. We talked about a few things, and they were mostly winners. Natasha Cloud did go over her points and over her rebounds and assists. The Liberty first quarter team total was easy. Liberty first quarter spread was easy, 23.5 minus 5.5. The Sparks team total under 84.5. I also liked a lot. They did stay under. They did not cover against the Phoenix Mercury. And then the Aces, I said I like first quarter minus the half, minus the 1. It was also a winner. I didn't bet any of them though. I would have lost on Minnesota Golden State under first quarter. I wasn't going to play that without knowing if Nafisha Collier was going to be there or not. Anyway, she ended up playing. So yeah, I would have went 4-1, 5-1, something like that. But hopefully you guys were able to make some money based on the show that we had. We had a really good show on Sunday. So hopefully we can rinse and repeat, man. Do it all over again here today. Let's see real quick. What up, Kev? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good up. What up, G Martinez? DT says, let's get it, Chris. We back. Appreciate all you do, brother. Appreciate that, DT. Appreciate that for sure. Good morning, Prolific. What up, Justin? Ball Talk says baseball. Shaking my head at the crib, looking like revenge game LeBron with the black mask, or a WNBA gonna give me my money today. Yeah, I hope we can find some money, man. Let's jump into it for today. So first up, we'll start with JaXon. JaXon went 1-1 on Sunday. Natasha Cloud over her 8.5 rebounds and assists was a winner. And I think it was Sammy Whitcomb under her 6.5 points was a loser against the LA Sparks the other day. So she shot the ball pretty well. I think it was in the second half specifically. So 1-1 day for JaXon. Today, y'all know, same prompt, best over under for both games. I'm sorry, best player props. I want to over and under in today's WNBA games. JaXon tells me that it likes Gabby Williams of the Seattle Storm over her 3-point prop at 1.5. Let's see. So Gabby has been on fire from beyond the arc, hitting the over 100% of her last 5 games, 80% of her last 10 games. Her season average of 2.29, made 3-pointers as well, is well above the 1.5 line. Against the Dallas Wing this season, she has hit 3 threes in their only matchup, showcasing her ability to exploit this defense. Home court advantage, when playing at home, she's hit the over in 100% of her games, averaging 2.75 made 3-pointers per game. It is a little juiced at minus 155, but DraftKings has the best odds, is what JaXon is telling me right now. So that's the first player prop, the over. As far as the under, JaXon likes Satu Sabali for the Phoenix Mercury under her rebounds and assists at 10.5. It says that she struggled to hit the over on this line, achieving it just 20% of her last 5 games. So that's 1 for 5. 40% of her last 10 games, 4 for 10. Her season average for assists and rebounds is 10.5, slightly above the line, but her recent form suggests a downward trend. Then it talks about her opponent specific stats. So it says that while she has had a strong showing against the Lynx in her last 15 matchups, 15 combined assists plus rebounds, her overall inconsistencies makes the under a safer play. Road performance as a visitor this season, she's hit the under at 100% of her games, averaging just 11 rebounds and assists combined. Best line available on ESPN Bet at plus 115 for Satu Sabali to stay under her rebounds and assist line. I don't know about that one, but that's what JaXon likes, man. Check JaXon out. Use the link in the description as always to see how JaXon can help you. I was thinking some of the same things that you guys asked me. I was thinking about just typing in JaXon earlier today. Somebody might say, "Hey, Chris, how do you feel about Kelsey Mitchell 3-point prop?" You just type that exact same phrase in JaXon. How do you feel about Kelsey Mitchell's 3-point prop, right? And it'll give you all the analysis, the recent performances, the contextual factors, betting recommendations, all of those things. So check JaXon out. Use the code in the description. ChrisBeCappinn 2 P's 2 N's. It'll save you 50% off whatever tier you sign up for. Let's get into the matchups, man. So first up, we got the Minnesota Lynx the Minnesota Lynx. We got the Washington Mystics. They will be in Indiana today. Indiana looking for some quick revenge. These teams just played on the 28th, so it's been about a week. It's been about a week ago since they fared off in DC. Well, they actually played in Baltimore, but in that game we saw the Mystics. It was the first game without Caitlin Clark, of course. We saw the Indiana Fever not really show up to the party. It was the Mystics' first game back from that West Coast road trip. I vividly remember this. I was on the first half under, and Sonia Citron hit the layup at the end of the first half to push it over to 84 points, and our 82.5 bet was 83 bet was a loser. Real quick, I just want to double check the injury report. I know that Sophie Cunningham is already listed as out. Yeah, she's out. Caitlin Clark, of course, continues to be out. I think this will be the last game Caitlin Clark will miss. Ari McDonald was signed for the Indiana Fever through a hardship contract because the Fever's last game against the Connecticut Sun, they lost Sydney Colston, who is supposed to be back in today's game. So they're really down guards right now. Stephanie White was talking about, the adversity that they're going through early in the season, especially down guard play. So we look at the Washington Mystics. Like I said, they've now beat the Indiana Fever 3 straight times. They've played 5 straight unders. These were the things that kind of stood out for me for the Washington Mystics after starting the season with back-to-back overs against Connecticut and Atlanta. When I look at the Indiana Fever right now, 3 straight losses, back-to-back non-covers. They lost, of course, to the Mystics, like we talked about. They came home. They were laying like 10.5, 11 points against the Connecticut Sun, lost that game outright. They don't play again until Friday, so they do have some time off. The first thing I started to look at, because the Washington Mystics are a lot healthier than this team. The Washington Mystics are also coming off an embarrassing loss against the New York Liberty. Liberty kind of just smoking everybody. But the way that they lost that game, only scoring 60-something points and getting, blown out. I think they had like a 9-point quarter, and they were the healthier team. The Mystics were on this. The Liberty won the second leg of a back-to-back. Does kind of make me think that we'll see, a lot of energy and effort from this Mystics team as well. I can only look towards the Mystics. I haven't bet this one yet, but the Fever having the rest advantage, well, I guess a little bit of a home court advantage in a quick revenge spot. I just haven't seen enough to lay points with this team without Caitlin Clark in, right? So I looked at, I went on Give Me the Moneyballer and looked at the situational spots, and the Fever are in a revenge spot, right? So teams in revenge spots that also lost their previous game, not even to the same opponent, but they lost to the Connecticut Sun, right? As a favorite, and they have at least 2 days rest. So all of the things, right? Bounce back spot, coming off a loss, got at least 2 days rest. Those teams are still just 25, 34, and 3 against the number, 42%. It is a little bit more of an over game, 38 and 24 to the over. I can only look towards the Mystics, man. In both games, I was looking into this without Caitlin Clark, right? Both games without Caitlin Clark, they're averaging 80 points. They've been held under their team total in both games so far. They're giving up 84. Both of their opponents have gone up and over their team total. The Fever are 0-2 straight up and against the spread in those 2 games without Caitlin Clark. So do I think they'll come out focused? Yes. You can't be losing to Connecticut, though. So, and I think the Mystics are still a little undervalued and a little underrated. So I like the Mystics in this game. Only be playing the +5. I also consider Indy team total under. Washington is under in let's see. So Washington is under in 3 straight road games. They've held 3 straight opponents under 76 points in their road games as well. The problem is that both teams are 4th in pace, are top 4 in pace, but both teams are also top 5 in defensive rating. So those things kind of scare me off of the total. I already got the total wrong in the last game as well, but 161.5 I think is probably about where it finishes. Couple things I also want to note real quick without Caitlin Clark getting there. So if we come down, we look at the fast break points, which are literally right here. You can see that in this game last week, the Indiana Fever scored 0 fast break points, and the Mystics were a +11 because they ended up with 11 fast break points. If we rewind to Friday's game against the Connecticut Sun, they were also outdone in fast break points, 12-4. So the Fever's offense is taking a humongous step back without Caitlin Clark being there. They're turning the ball over a little bit more as well. You can see that they gave up In this game here, it wasn't as much, what you guys can see. But points off turnovers, they end up giving up 10 in this game. They were a +4. But if you go back to the Connecticut game that was played on Friday, this is the effect of not having Caitlin Clark. They had 15 turnovers and gave up 30 points off turnovers to the Connecticut Sun in that game. So fast break points and points off turnovers, I think is, I can't lay points with the Indiana Fever, especially without a true guard. Ari McDonald was good, but it's going to take her a while to get acclimated with the system. I think the Mystics, especially with nobody on the injury report on the right side, +5 is the way that I would be playing this. Let's see what you guys are thinking. I didn't even look into too many player props. The Mystics are a team that's very deep. It's a lot of, really good players. Aaliyah Edwards is now back, so she's, taking Kiki's minutes, and Brittany Sykes I think is coming off a bad game. Maybe she bounces back in a big way. But they got a lot of pieces over there, so I didn't really look into player props in this one. What up, Mark? Hope all is well with you. Prolific says, give me Mystics on the money line. Last matchup they won straight up. That's a fact. Good morning, Matt. He says he got Mystics +4.5 as well. Ari is there. Ari McDonald is there. She is a vet. Ball Talk says Fever back to being the Fever without Caitlin Clark. That's a fact, man. I can't trust any of them. Let's see. That's a wild comment there, so we're gonna get rid of that. What up, J-Man? Mystics too much of a threat to lay 4.5 to the Fever, and hoping they show up. It's either Mystics plus the points or leave it alone. Also feel like the over is the right spot here. I don't really know about the over, but don't let me talk you out. The first game went under. Remember, I bet over. I bet under in the first half, and it went over in the first half, and then nobody could score in the second half. So, yeah, don't let me talk you off the total. I won't be involved on the total here. Let's see. Mark says, like Kiki over 9.5 points, Citron over her 9.5 points. I think Sonya, in my opinion, would be the better of the looks. Mark, I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. Let's just go look at it real quick. So, Aaliyah Edwards coming back. I'm not gonna lie. Aaliyah Edwards coming back scares me, man. It really scares me a little bit because I'm watching their coach is Sidney Johnson, I think is his name. And I watch him, like he rotated not in the Mystics game. I mean, not in the Liberty game, but in the game against the Fever the other day. I watched him rotate, these players in and out of the lineup like 4 times in the first half, in the first quarter. Like Aaliyah Edwards was coming off the bench and getting Kiki, and Kiki was coming off the bench and getting Aaliyah, and then Shakira Austin's coming off the bench. Like I can't get it right. Let's see. Citron is at 13.5 points, Mark. I don't know where you see a 9.5 line at. That's a nice line if you can get a 9.5. She has gone over 9.5 in every single game so far this season. You can see she's at 10 or more. So her points prop is 13.5. We look at her road game specifically. She has surprisingly played really good on the road. You can see that listed here. Over in 3 of her 4 road games in Connecticut, at Golden State, against the Aces, and against Phoenix. These are really good defensive teams, right? I mean, the Aces not that great, but Golden State's pretty good defensively. Phoenix is pretty good defensively. Connecticut and the Aces are. Connecticut's terrible. Aces are probably middle of the pack. All right, so let's look and see her field goal attempts. So they're still there, right? No matter who's played, she's had, double-digit attempts. And I think it's been 5 games with that. She's had double-digit attempts in every single game except this game against the Mercury. This was the last game of that road trip too, the 3-game road trip. So yeah, Sonya's nice, man. I like Sonya a lot. And then I think you also said Kiki Irafin. All right, so Kiki's points is 12.5, and she's been hovering right around that number. I want to say if we go, let me just take a quick peek over to Moneyballer real quick and see where the Fever's defense lacks at. So the Fever's defense is scoring points in the paint. Let's see. Fast break points. The Fever allowed 11 most. Second chance points. The Fever actually don't give up a lot of second chance points. Points off turnovers. The Fever scored the second most. Let's see. Paint points. So the Fever don't give up a lot of points in the paint. Opponent paint field goal percentage is 48%, but they cannot stop anybody from getting to the mid-range, and their corner 3 defense is terrible. Corner 3 field goal percentage allowed is 42. So that would lend itself to a Sonya over. Maybe I think her 3-point prop is 1.5. Maybe her 3-point prop. Somebody should be able to knock them down. Teams are shooting 42%, 43% pretty much from the 3-point line mark. I couldn't talk you off looking at. Aaliyah Boston's a pretty good defender. Yeah, I'm just trying to make rationale of it. It makes sense. Yeah, I would be looking towards her 3, towards one of those, to one of the guards before I would look at, before I'd be looking at Kiki, I think, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that's what I would be looking at. Let's see real quick. And then we'll go to the next game. Look at Sonya real quick. Let's look at her 3-point prop, if they got it listed. Yeah, 3-pointers made, 1.5. Look, you can see she's hit 2 or more in every single game so far this season. Minus 119, so not too bad of odds. 3-point defense, middle of the pack is what we're seeing here. Sonya is shooting 40% from 3. She's had at least 4 attempts in every single game so far. In this game, she just missed them. She was 0 for 4, but she shot 4. And if she shot 4 more, she's hit this number every single game except this one. So I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. And this, of course, is Outlier. If you guys are interested in checking out Outlier, use that link in the description. 7-day free trial link if you guys are interested. Run the likes up too, man, if y'all can. It's definitely helpful and appreciative of the show. Appreciate all that. All right, let's jump into. Did I miss anything else? What up, Can't Stop? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, prestigious prodigy, my brother. Good top of the morning to my guy Peasy. Lord B says debating between the over and the Mystics plus 4.5. Might take both. If you like the Mystics and the over, you like Mystics team total over. Let's see, team total is, and you can get a plus 5 too. Y'all make sure y'all shop around. Mystics team total is 78.5. Like I said, the Fever have given up 80 points or more. I'm sorry. In both games, they've given up 84 points or more to their opponent. So thinking that, the problem is Washington has played in 5, like I said, I think it's 5 straight unders. They're the 5th best defensive rated team so far. So I don't know about the over, but best of luck, bro. TC Best says, what's good, Chris? Been a minute. I'm with you on the Washington spread. Yeah, I didn't bet it yet, but Washington plus 5 is the only way I want to play it. All right, let's go to the next one. The Mercury and the Lynx. This line is now up to, looks like 12s are popping up. Well, no, 12s are actually gone now. I think it touched 12 though. Yeah, it did touch 12. So open 10.5, came down to 10, then 11, 11.5, 12, 12.5, now back down. Total open 156.5 is moved a lot, and kind of consensus is 158.5. So it has moved up a little bit. So we start with the injury report here again. The Phoenix Mercury will be without Alyssa Thomas, which is, of course, very, very key. I talked about her impact in the last on the show on Sunday. They still were able to go into LA and get the win, as I thought that they, would be able to keep that game close. Can't be laying points with the Sparks. They do have not only Alyssa Thomas on the injury report. Kalani Brown is also on the injury report. She is questionable with a knee injury. No Kalia Copper, of course. No Natasha Mack still. The Minnesota Lynx have everybody. They should be 100% for today's game. I think about this game. I'll start with the Mercury side. They're coming off, like I said, that 5-point win against the Sparks the other day as a 4.5-point dog. So it could be a little bit of a letdown spot for the Sparks. For the Mercury. After winning that game the way that they did, and they had to use a lot of energy in the second half too. They were down big. I think they were down 15, 16 points to the Sparks. Sparks, couldn't miss a 3-pointer in the first half and couldn't make one in the second half if you compare their numbers in that game. I worry about them offensively in this game. I do think that Minnesota is eventually going to lock up and play some defense. They did not do so in that last game against the Golden State Valkyries. So Minnesota, they've actually beaten Phoenix 5 straight times, with 4 of them going over the total. Minnesota is coming off 11-point win against the Golden State Valkyries in a game that they didn't cover. They were laying 14.5, I think, in that game. They were actually losing by 1 at the end of the first half. I think they were losing 52-51 defensively. Just not playing well. The Valkyries were knocking down shot after shot in the third quarter happened, and the Minnesota Lynx just kind of took off from there. Defense stepped up. Not sure what Cheryl Reed says at halftime, but this Minnesota team is by far the best third quarter team. So they do have more rest after this game than the Phoenix Mercury do. But here's the problem with Minnesota. They're 0-2 against the spread as a double-digit favorite so far this season, 0-3 at the crib in general against the number. And I faded them. I mean, I tried to, back them one time, and they just didn't get the job done for whatever reason. That was against the Connecticut Sun. Almost lost that game. Almost gave Connecticut their first win of the season. Both of those games did go under the total when they were double-digit home favorites. They only averaged 155 points. They stayed under their team total in both of those games as well. So this is something that I actually want to go over, show you all real quick on the Money Baller, just to make it a little bit more visual, probably more helpful. So Mercury and Lynx, just refresh real quick. All right, so Mercury, Lynx. All right, so this is the potential letdown spot, right? Coming off a win as a dog. They got a baller system says back double-digit dogs off a win. So thinking that they roll that momentum into the next game coming off a win. Back teams off a win as a dog and revenge where they lost by 15 points or fewer, because this is a revenge spot. And then these two teams just played, of course, on Saturday. They played last week, and Natasha Heidemann hit the game winner in the right corner to win the game 74-71, which is right here. Yeah, so they did cover that game. And then you got a system on the Lynx as well, back home teams and matchups between two elite teams. So we come down, right? We look at the Lynx offense, second best offense, third best defensive rating as well. Look at this Mercury defense, though, 92.5 defensive rating. They're the second best defensive team in the WNBA right now, which is crazy. I didn't anticipate the Mercury being the second best defensive team in the league, if I'm being honest. Then we come down and start looking at the trends, right? This is what I'm talking about. Look at that dark red. Minnesota 0-3 against the number, laying points at the crib. I don't know, man. I can't quite get there. You look at the Mercury on the road as a dog. You can see that their opponents are 2-0 to their team total under in the first half. 2-0 to the team total under. So the Mercury playing a little bit of defense in the first half. Like, I know the Lynx are a lot better than the Mercury, especially without Alyssa Thomas. If you don't have Kalani Brown there, that's even more of a threat. I don't know, man. I can't quite get there. With the Minnesota Lynx. They scare me a little bit too much. Here's the reason why I won't bet Mercury, though, is because I was reading about the game, the Golden State Valkyries and the Minnesota Lynx game, and couple quotes came out from Cheryl Reeves and Courtney Williams, and they were talking about how they know they got to be better, even though they are undefeated. The Minnesota Lynx are undefeated. They have not lost the game yet, but they also have failed to cover 5 straight games, right? This is not a team that's been covering games and winning the way that they want to win. So I kind of expect it's going to happen sooner or later. Like, I don't want to take the points with the Phoenix Mercury in this spot, thinking that the Minnesota Lynx can't blow them out, because I know that they can. I'll read off real quickly some of the quotes, and then you guys do what you want to do with the spread. I don't think this is a game I'm gonna be involved in. So Lynx guard Courtney Williams says she and her teammates were not happy after trailing 52-51 at halftime of their most recent game against the expansion Golden State Valkyries. Minnesota outscored Golden State 35-23 in the second half to notch the win. Quote, "Sometimes it seems like we take things for granted," Williams said. "We have to stop doing that. We can't be a second half team." So, I mean, that's pretty impactful, I think, in my opinion, right? Like, I don't think that they're going to continue to do that. Also, I read a quote coming from Nafisha Collier, where she pretty much said the same thing. She says, quote, the fact that we know what to do and we're not going out there and doing it, it's extremely frustrating, Collier said. The coaches can't go out there and do it for us. We have to take responsibility for that. We just need to do it for 4 quarters, end quote. I mean, they're talking like they lost the game. They didn't lose. Like, I don't want to bet against the Minnesota Lynx if they're going to be fired up for the next game. So, yeah, I know the Mercury seemed like the right side, but because it's a big number. And one more thing I want to show you guys real quick. I talked about this at the beginning of the season. I'm just go to Give Me the Dog real quick and talk about the situational spot real quick. I'll zoom in so you guys can see this. But if we just go back to last season, right? And because this team is pretty much the same, right? We look at the Lynx from last season. We look at them as a home favorite. Whatever reason, they just don't cover, right? Look at this, 11-13 against the number at the crib. They win 20-4, but they do not cover, right? For whatever reason. You can see all 3 games so far this season, they just don't cover. Just don't cover. If we look at the line, when they're, and like supposed to win big, look at this. Yes, they win 7-0, but they're 1-6 against the spread, right? So this is games where they land at least 10 points, average of 12.7. They're winning by an average of 8. You can see that right here, 85-77. The numbers are right here. So yeah, I mean, it says Lynx. I mean, it says Mercury. I'm not betting the Mercury though. I kind of want to bet on the defense of the Minnesota Lynx, thinking that, even if they struggle offensively, they're still, because the Mercury are the second best defense. I kind of want to bet on the Minnesota Lynx team total under 87 and 80, under 84.5, I think is the number, but I couldn't quite get there on anything. I'm just talking this one out with you guys, letting you know how I feel. Let's see. Ball Talk says total game over, no good. Fever can't stop turning the ball over. They cooked the shot clock and then turned it over. And that's a fact. JFX says Lynx 5 straight non-covers and didn't cover against the Valkyries last game. I think Mercury have a chance at covering the plus 11.5. They aren't much worse than them are they? They're not. You're right. This is a premium. You always land a premium with the Lynx for sure. Matt says he took the over 157 for the Mercury and Lynx. Okay. I would actually I think I like the opposite. I think I like under. I think the Mercury defense can slow down Minnesota. I also think the Mercury offense not going to look as good as it did in that last game without Alyssa Thomas. This is not the Sparks defense here. This is the Lynx defense. So I actually like under a little bit more, but not enough to get there and play it because the team total for the Mercury is pretty low. 72.5. That number seems super low. Keith says he'll just go ahead and bet the Lynx for second half right now, -5.5, thinking that they play a little, come out and just keep playing the same way. I think eventually it's going to flip, but we'll see. Mark says played Mercury first half. Played, I think that's supposed to be Merc first half, +5. Lynx have been slow starters and seems to turn it on late, in my opinion. That's a fact. It's going to switch sooner or later, though. Lynx are not covering most of their games. That's my worry. No doubt they will win, but do they cover is the question. I agree. That's why the game's so hard. Ball Talk says he likes the Mercury team, super disciplined, no Brown, no Thomas, or Cooper is crazy, though. That's a fact. Gina says she likes Courtney Williams over her 5.5 assists. I couldn't talk you off of Courtney Williams over her 5.5 assists. Courtney Williams is a baller, man. She is a hooper. Real quick on Courtney Williams, she is over that 5.5 number that Gina mentioned. She has gone under in 3 of the last 4 games, but on the season she is 4. So she's over in 4 and under in 3. So 4 and 3 to the over. She's averaging 6.3 assists, which is over the 5.5 number as well. Yeah, I like this, Gina. I like this a lot. Let's see. In that last game they just played, she did have 7 assists on the 30th. So now she at the crib where their offense should be a little bit better. Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good look, Gina, for sure. I like that. JFX says if they can't cover the 11 against the Wings at home, I'm thinking the Mercury at 11.5 might be a plus play. They got to lose sometimes. That's a fact. You're right. That's a fact. Don't let me talk you off. I just read those quotes from the Minnesota Lynx players, and I'm thinking to myself, eventually they're gonna blow somebody out. I don't want to be on the wrong side of it because the easy play looks like to take the points with the Mercury. That's my thought process. What up, 3-time? JW says he go Lynx first half spread. That's what I'm kind of thinking too, man. Like I said, I don't know. We'll see if the consistency starts tonight. Eventually, the Lynx not just gonna be this team that only covers in the second half, though. Is my thought process. Ball Talk says 2 great caps. Chris, you better play something good. I do have a play. I got to play in the last game. We'll talk about it in just a second. Jay Stone says Mystics money line fading fever till Caitlin Clark is back. Couldn't talk you off. All right, let's go to that last game. So Dallas Wings in the Seattle Storm. I bet this one, right? So for the Dallas Wings, we start with the injury report, and this was a big part of it for me. They will be without both of their starting point guards. No Paige Becker. She's still out with concussion protocol. I think it's the last game she's going to miss, though. And then Ty Harris is also out as well, the other starting point guard. That's a big part of it for me, which is why I like Seattle. I didn't bet on full game, but let's talk about the Seattle Storm as well. This is third straight home game for them, and they're coming off 3 straight losses, right? The Seattle Storm they beat the Aces not last Sunday, but Sunday before last, right? Then they went to Minnesota with 2 days off. I think they played on Tuesday. They lost that game but covered the spread. They come back home. I take them against Atlanta. They lose that game outright, giving up 97 points. And then they have another game against the Aces. They lose that game outright as well. So I think we get a fired up Seattle team here off 3 straight losses, 3rd straight home game as well. Dallas not having either one of their point guards. I debated whether I wanted to take Seattle for the full game. They have been the opposite of the Minnesota Lynx. This team actually does come out and play really hard early. Matter of fact, if you took them in the Atlanta game that they lost, they did cover the first quarter and the first half in that game. So I like them. I know that they just lost to the Aces, didn't cover the first quarter or first half, but that was a nice bounce back spot. Quick revenge spot for the Aces in that game. The game before that, when they played the Aces 2 Sundays ago, their offense looked really good. Remember, I told you guys they had a 14-point lead at the end of the first quarter and a 26-point lead at the end of halftime. So I did play Dallas in this, Seattle in this spot. I played first half specifically, though, just in case the back door is left open. I bet 5.5. That's my favorite play on the board. I bet this to win a unit. One of my biggest plays in the WNBA so far this season. Real quick, if we go back and look at, if we just look at first half net ratings, this is courtesy of WNBA.com advanced stats. We can see that this is the first half specifically this season. You can see Seattle has been I thought this was a bit surprising. A lot of inconsistencies here. If you look at these numbers on the right hand side, right? A lot of 0.3, 0.8s, 2.8, 1.6. Like these are not, big numbers at all. But I thought it was pretty interesting that Seattle has the second best net rating in the first half. I mean, nobody's touching the Liberty right now, clearly, right? A plus 38 in the first half is insane. You could take the Liberty first half every single time, and whatever the spread is, they've been covering. But Seattle is actually the second best first half team in the WNBA. I thought that was a bit surprising. And then you come down and look at the Dallas Wings. They're 11th in net rating in the first half, right? Minus 8.4. And what was also interesting to me, I highlighted it down there in green in the bottom right, is that 113.3 defensive rating is actually the second worst on the screen. The only team that's worse in the first half is the Connecticut Sun. You can see that their defensive rating in the first half is a 115.5. We know Seattle's offense plays a little bit better at home. I think that they'll be able to get the stops too. Like I said, I didn't lay the 9.5, but I did take them first half minus the 5.5. It's my favorite spot on the board for today. That's what I like. I like the Seattle Storm in a bounce back spot today. Let's see what you guys are thinking, and then we'll jump into a quick recap. JW says Storm by 20. They could definitely get there today. Young man Travis is giving me Seattle land of points. They'll do to Dallas. I'm sorry, I can't read. This is right. What they did to Vegas on a bounce back at home. Blowout expectations here. They don't want to lose 3 games in a row at the crib, and I do agree with that. Real quick, I don't think I looked into this. I just want to see what Seattle got next. All right, so Seattle goes to Phoenix on Friday. It's Friday the 7th. I should know that. Yeah, Friday is Saturday is the 7th. So this is the last of a 3-game homestand. You don't want to drop all 3 games. So I agree with that, young man Travel. Matt says he also took the Storm minus 9.5 in the revenge game. It's not a revenge game though. Not revenge against Dallas. They beat Dallas earlier. Remember, we were on Seattle. We played Seattle money line when they went to Dallas, and they played in Dallas. That was on May the 19th. They ended up winning and covering, but we took the money line early. They covered the 3.5 spread though. That game did go under the 167.5 total as well. So we'll see. BC says took Fever and Dallas team total under. Okay, Storm minus 9.5. A lot of people like the Storm. I can see it. Might go Storm team total over. That's initially where I started at JW. I wrote Storm team total over 88.5. And in my notes, I wrote Wings 11th in defensive rating. They're 3rd and over so far this season. They also play at the 5th fastest pace. So it should be a game they can get up and down the floor. I just kind of worry about, like fourth quarter, is the game played fast? Do the Storm need to score? I think Storm first half team total may be the better play. Like I worry about these teams getting to, the total that they need to get to early in the game. Seattle first half team total is 43.5. I definitely think that they can score 44 in the first half. Real quick, if we look at the Wings as road dogs this season, they're giving up. Actually, only giving up 43 in the first half, 44 in the first half. So right at this number as a road dog so far this season. Yeah, that's what I bet though. GLB says I was looking at the Wings catching points today. Teams with the rest advantage off a non-cover 7-3 on the money line and against the spread. Tough to go against Seattle though. Yeah, I think I don't know, the way I kind of see the game going. Like I think Seattle is going to do Noel Quinn does a lot of trapping of the ball handler in their defensive sets. And when I think about the Dallas Wings not having either Paige Beckers or Ty Harris, I think their offense is going. I mean, it could look really, really weird. Enrique trying to run the point guard. I mean, that's the way that they do cover though, right? Is Enrique goes absolutely bananas. Enrique went crazy against Chicago, and she went crazy against somebody, and they got a win. It was against Connecticut. That's who it was. And then she came all the way back down to earth, right? Enrique's coming off a game without Paige Beckers where she had just 4 points. Hold on. Was it 4 points? No, she had 15 points. 15 points after scoring 37. So you never know what Enrique you're going to get, man. 14 for 25 or 5 for 16. No idea what you're going to get from Enrique. What up, Mitchell says, let's go, Chris. Storm was my favorite bet, too. Smart minds think alike. Can't stop says I'm on the Wings team total under 78.5 in this one. Could not talk you off. Storm defense is a lot better at the crib. JFX says, yeah, that was this easy. Give me the Storm. I want to see Malunga dunk, man. Anybody else looking forward to seeing Malunga dunk? She eventually gonna get a fast break dunk. I hope she reverse windmill 360 it like Vince Carter. I want to see Malunga dunk, man. It's gonna be really big for the W. I really want to see Malunga dunk. It's gonna be a game like this with Malunga dunk. I wish you could bet on which game she gonna dunk in. JW says 44 in the first half is the way. I agree with that. Ball Talk says I like that 44 first half team total. Eggs, bacon, pancakes, home fries. Chris cooking this morning. Oh man, shout out to Ball Talk, man. Shout out to Ball Talk. And yeah, that'll be it, man. Like I said, I only bet. Let me just update this a little bit. I bet Seattle first half. That first half number is -6 on a couple books already. I think it might be 6.5. So shop around if you guys can find a 5.5. Definitely take it. If you want to tell Washington plus the 5. And like I said, I really don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do with that Mercury game. Mercury and Lynx, I have no idea what to do with. The Sonya Citron 3-point prop, though, I do like that. I think I'll at least put it on the stream. Not sure if I'll play it or not. Sonya Citron over 1.5 threes, 3-point makes. I think it's absolutely solid. Algina mentioned Courtney Williams. I like that look as well. Over her 5.5 assists, I think it's really good money. She already went over in against this team earlier this season. Had 7. Now she's at the crib. Yeah, I think she could definitely get to that number as well. So yeah, just one official play for me today. We don't have WNBA tomorrow, right? I think it's every other day this week. Yeah, so no WNBA until Thursday. NBA not back on until Thursday either. I'm thinking maybe I'll do like a preview of the series between the Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, game 1 is not until Thursday though, so maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. Maybe we'll talk NBA Finals if you guys are interested in getting to some lines. The number's moving already, especially the total is moving up. And the Oklahoma City, one of the biggest favorites we've seen in a really long time in the NBA. They're I think I saw minus 750 is what ESPN sent out. So the books aren't really giving them a chance. I'll let you guys know tomorrow if I'm giving the Indiana Pacers a chance to win I think it might be their first NBA Finals ever. I don't think nobody in the Pacers franchise won a championship, right? I don't think so, but yeah, that's the thought process, man. I appreciate you all, as always, for rocking with me, for tapping in this morning, man. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share the show if you can, drop the show link in the group chat, man, to your coworkers, your bosses, your cousins, everybody, man. The girls chat, everybody. Check out the resources if you guys are interested. jaXon, Outlier, Moneyballer, Jam. Most of the time I show you guys how to use them on the show, and I've done so today as well. Check those out. Use the links and you can save some coin to, learn how to handicap yourself. If you enjoyed the show, like I said, hit the like button, man. Best of luck on your action for today. If you're betting, baseball, best of luck on that as well. I will catch you guys most likely tomorrow. We'll talk Pacers and Thunder.